Hi everybody, it's EJ here. CJ is behind the camera right now. We're going to talk about the headstocks of these three guitars right here, the difference in them, and why there's such a drastic difference in between these two particularly. Now, you see this is a Squier Stratocaster, and so is this. They're licensed by Fender to recreate the same guitars as Fender does. But back in 1954, when Fender first came out with the Stratocaster, this was the standard headstock size. It was normal. It's what they wanted, and it was great. But then back in 1965, I believe, CBS bought Fender Musical Instruments, and they put this bigger headstock on, and so many people had stories and rumors and myth about they put it on because it did much more for sustain and tone, and that's absolutely not true. If you look back over here, this little headstock, it's got a little bit of lettering right here and all that, and that's fine. Their guitarist said Fender and says Stratocaster, and you could see that. But if you were on stage and then there were people back 2, 3, 4 rows, they might not see that name. And so what CBS decided was, we're going to make a bigger headstock because that's a billboard for us. So they can put on bigger lettering and see how you can see how much more clear and defined that is. So just to let you know, if you see the big headstock on a 1960s to mid-70s Fender Stratocaster, that's something that CBS did, and it was just for advertising purposes. But personally, I actually do like the bigger headstocks. I don't know why. It just appeals to me. So with that explained, I want you to understand over here on the Squier Telecaster. Now that's just headstock that I like. It's really nice. But it also, when I mentioned before about the neck does not fit down into the joint of a Stratocaster right. Because if you look at this, you can see it's got just a little bit of a curving right on here, all right? But if you look at the Telecaster, it's straight across. So we're putting this neck onto a Stratocaster body, and you look down here, you can see there's a little bit of curvature, and that fits into the Stratocaster body perfectly that we're working with. But up here, I decided I want to try to go a little bit of the same route as what CBS did. I want to make the headstock a little bit bigger than normal. And it's not in perfect shape like the Telecaster, but you remember when the first video I said, this is my guitar. I can do whatever I want with it. And that's where we're going. So we're going to go outside now, and we're going to take some more of this off. And I already went back and cleaned all this up. It's nice and smooth. I took off the edges, the rough stuff. So we're going to take this off, and then after that, we're going to say goodnight. And the next video is going to be actually staining.
What'd you clean the rest of it with?
Well, we're going to go outside and look at that right now.
Yeah.
So, I brought it back outside, and I have my trusty Dremel tool, and I just went back over real gentle, barely touching it, but just taking off all the rough edge, and did that all the way down to about here, and brought it back up here. So now it's a lot more of a rounded shape. And then after, I took this here sander, and I went back all along, smoothing real good, and then going like this. Just taking down that rough edge along the edge, beveling it out a little bit, evening it up with what it feels like up here. So now, we're real good up until the spot here. Now we're going to take the Dremel, and we're going to go in through here. And we're going to finish it just before we get to that blue tape. We don't need to get too close. But anyways, let's do it. Safety first. So here we go. Takes a little bit of time. I'm taking down just a little bit with each pass. Yep, got a little bit into that, but we'll be alright. We'll fix that. That's how we take off that rough. We're just going to go just to where we're going to be touching that pencil line. Not too much. See, it's coming off pretty quick. Very gently. That is not perfect, but we can clean that up. You see where I had to be very careful to stop right up in there, because you have this here. So now we're going to take this area right here, like this, around, taking down that rough edge, back around here. I'll try to blend this up like that. I'm going to stand against the grain a little bit. This. Do all the blend together as best you can. Kind of rounding off that edge a little bit. that's about as near as perfect as we're going to get to it. Let's take the tape off and see how we look. Yeah, I like that. Blends real nice. Feels real good. I like it. And my hand's not really going up any further than about here whenever I'm playing. So the feel is really good. Smooth as I'm probably going to get it. But maybe I'll go back and a little bumpy right there. I'll do that later. But that's how we're doing it. And now you understand with the explanation of the Stratocaster headstocks why I decided this would be really neat as sort of a telly style, but larger.
I have a question.
Sure.
Since you're using a Dremel that's out of date,
Yeah.
so what would a person use now that would be more
Well,
up to date?
if someone had a regular shop to work on things like this, I'm sure they would have, well, they'd probably have a bandsaw, or they could have a Sawzall, or something of that nature. They could just cut right through it. But since what you could do is you could still get Dremels, of course, and now you have variable speed Dremels, so you could slow it down and make it smoother or rougher, whatever. And really, to be honest, when you're doing the headstock, you really want to be more hands-on. You can cut out the rough with a bandsaw or whatever. You really want to be more hands-on with what you're touching and feeling and understanding. Here's the smooth, here's the rough, and that way you can get you can be more refined with it, in my opinion. That's what always helps me. But anyways, that's the headstock. We're done with it. Next step, on the next video, we're going to start staining the neck, and then we're going to stain the body also. And I can't wait. So anyways, thanks for watching. And appreciate the viewers that we have. And please remember, like and subscribe. And have a great weekend. And God bless.
Bye.